So Austin Reaves, people I think are very confused. So the Lakers offered him a deal, and he's extension eligible, and it's like 3 for 84 or whatever it was, and he turned it down. So people are like kind of confused by all of this. This is actually a good thing for both parties, sort of for the Lakers, but certainly for Austin.
Also, this was expected to be turned down.
Correct. Yeah. Sorry, I had to drink some water. So,
what kind of water is that?
Kirkland alkaline water.
Was it good water?
Yeah, it's like pH balanced.
I can't do my cat. I'm trying to do the cappy thing to distract you.
It's from Kirkland.
Then I realized that's just tacky. Don't do that.
It's just Kirkland, though. I got it from Costco.
Well, how did I do? Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
But
he was supposed to turn this down.
Yes, he was. So, number one, because if he bets on himself and waits one more year, he can then get a deal at about $30 million a year.
Yes.
Okay. So on his side, it's smart. I would also say this. On the Lakers side, it's smart, too, if you're planning on eventually dealing him. Because his salary at $22 million or whatever it's going to be, if he would have signed this extension, is not as valuable as $30 million. Because if you are going to deal him eventually, and I still think that at some point Austin Reaves is going to get dealt in the next 3 or 4 years, it is a better situation for the Lakers because you can get more in return for him because his salary number will be larger.
It's a friendly team contract that you're trading into.
Well, no, it's not.
If you're trading him, right?
It's not even that. It's really just like, remember, it's dollar for dollar in the NBA. Yeah. So if he's making 22, you can only get a player in that realm of 22 million. If he's making 30, you can get yourself a player who's making around 30. Now, granted, they could obviously combine salaries based on like who they're getting or whatever. But anyway, it makes it easier. The more money the guy makes, as long as it's reasonable, and 30 for a guy like Austin Reaves is still reasonable, you're going to have more advantages in potentially dealing him down the road. So while, yes, it's going to cost the Lakers more, about $8 or $9 million a year, it's actually going to be beneficial for them if they do indeed trade him down the road.
And there's basically Austin Reaves betting on himself that he's going to continue to grow. He's
Correct.
Going to continue to get better.
And he will. He'll get the $30 million. It's another year. Like, he'll be fine. Yes.
And if it's not from the Lakers, somebody's going to give it to him. Now, the thing that you have to look for is if he is outplaying the contract that he has next year, and he is going to get that money, if you're a Laker ownership, if you're the front office, like, damn, do we have a chance to re-sign him? Or would he want to walk, right? Because
he says he wants to be a Laker for life. He had his golf tournament in Arkansas or whatever, and he already said as much.
Well, everybody says that, right?
Yeah, but I believe him.
So do I. I'm just saying the flip side of where he might say, you know what? I don't like the way that the organization is going this year. I don't like the way that they treated me this year. Maybe somebody else is going to come up. That's the risk the Lakers take, where they could lose him to somebody else because he would be unrestricted. But also, he's the name that is going to be in trade rumors the entire season, right? He's going to be the guy that has the commodity. He's going to be the guy that they can shoot, the guy that they can play, the guy that has the friendly contract for you to take back. So he's going to go through the entire first half of potentially being on the trading block. Not that they want to trade him, but if you're...
He's already kind of dealing with that, though.
Yeah, but if you're the visiting... say you're Milwaukee, right? For whatever team. You're not asking for Luka. You're not asking for LeBron. Who are you asking for? There's only one guy that you really want on that roster.
Right.
It's Austin Reaves.
Right.
So he dealt with it last year, but I think it's going to be more reality this year coming up.
Right.
Where he has to deal with it more and more and more.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I do think ultimately that's just the thing. Like, he's going to... I think it's good for him. He's going to make more money long term. You should bet on yourself for another year.
Absolutely.
You're good. And I do think... I know people think I'm crazy, but I think in the next couple of years, he's going to get dealt. Like, you can't have him and Luka in your backcourt. Like, it's just not, I don't think it even makes sense.
No.
So, unless Austin's just going to be a sixth man.
And that's a lot of money for a sixth man.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what money's going to look like. I mean, Jaylen Brown makes $70 million. So does Jason Tatum. So 30
is a different team, though.
Right, I get it. But what I would say to you is if those guys are superstars and making 70, your sixth man is probably going to make 30 moving forward.
Are you okay with her?
It keeps popping out.
You're a mess. You're a mess.
I don't know what's happening here.
Your headphones.
Yeah.
See? The jacks. They're falling apart over here.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, but he is, in Morky's article today in Athletic about how in Arkansas, his golf tour, I want to be a Laker for life. I do believe that.
Yeah.
This is a great spot for him. They got him. They've developed him. Then you look at how he played against Minnesota in the playoffs. You're like, that's just one series. That's not who he is. He averaged 20 points last year.
Yeah.
Who else are you going to... I like Austin Reaves, but just how he and Luka, like you said, blend in together, it's still going to take some time if it ever does get where they're cohesive like that.
The Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah, what's up with him?
So, look, he can get more money, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, Lindsay, you asked me earlier today, like you thought he'd be gone. I don't believe that. JJ loves him. I mean, JJ was also his teammate at one point.
I just read somewhere that with the Austin Reaves declining the player option, that was expected, blah, blah, blah. But then with Dorian Finney-Smith, like he actually does want to test free agency.
Right. He wants to get money. I ain't mad at him.
And that he probably will not or may not end up with the Lakers.
Right. I mean, it has now become a more questionable situation. But if you pay him, he's probably going to stay. Yeah. Like, he loves playing with Luka. Him and JJ have a good relationship. I don't see why he would leave if you offer him whatever his market value is.
He's also bounced around with some ugly teams where you can say, finally, I have a team where we know we're going to the playoffs. Finally, a team where I know what's going on.
Well, yes, but he also may want to get paid the most.
Yeah, but you're going to... You want to get paid, but at the same time, George, when you've been on some nasty teams, when you've been on some organizations where everybody has already given up from the get-go, where you go to camp and you're like, yeah, we're going to be a lottery pick. I think at a point, some of that has to get to your career where you're saying, I want to get better. I want some organization that is actually stable. I want something
I get it, yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, he was with Dallas for a while, but yeah.
But not the Dallas where they were contending, right?
No, they went to the Western Conference Finals.
Oh, he was on that team?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was on the team that wasn't good. What am I thinking of?
No, he was on the team that lost to the Warriors in the conference finals in 2022.
Oh, he was on that team. Oh, yeah. Then I sound stupid.
No, it's all good. I mean, he has bounced around a lot. You're not wrong about that.
Yeah, because when he showed up in L.A., he was talking. Yeah, you're right. He was talking about how, man, I'm just happy to be here. Like, you just see the relief that he had coming from a team like Brooklyn. Yeah, you're right. He's only 32.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like old.
Yeah, it just feels like he's been.
Well, he was he played multiple years in college. Like he was. Yeah, he's been around a while. Like, it's not. Yeah. So what I'll add to you is this. Like, I think the Dorian Finney-Smith, to me, you're already pretty thin as it is. You can't let that dude walk.
You cannot let Dorian Finney-Smith walk, especially his ability and what he can do on the floor for the Lakers. Being a 3-and-D guy and being able to switch everything as far as AJ Redick's defensive system, he's a perfect fit for the Lakers.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And if you're going to deal, like if that rumor is true, that they're going to deal Rui and maybe Gabe for Wiggins, Wiggins also kind of fits in that Finney-Smith mold. He's like better than Finney-Smith offensively. But they also 3-and-D, right, in theory. I personally am not a big Wiggins guy. I would not make that deal, but maybe they feel differently about Andrew Wiggins. So,
do you think more because he has a lot more abilities on the defensive end than Rui? I know Rui took on a lot more assignments as far as a bigger body. They try to pair him up with Jokic in that series and stuff like that because Rui has size. But Andrew Wiggins kind of does more as far as like getting in the
more
passing,
perimeter oriented,
exactly, getting the passing lanes, kind of run the floor a little bit better. Has a lot more athleticism as far as verticality.
Yeah, for sure.
But does he shoot enough for you to give him that contract?
Rui's definitely a better shooter, in my opinion.
Yeah, Rui is definitely a better shooter.
Yeah, Rui's the better shooter. But
no, he's talking about Andrew Wiggins.
Oh, Wiggins. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Rui, but damn, how many times this year was Rui like not there, right? Where he's getting pushed around. It's like, dude, be a dog for being that big. He doesn't have like the big dog attitude of I'm gonna clear out the paint. I'm gonna do this, right?
Yeah, he kind of. I mean, there's times.
Floats.
Yeah, he floats, and then when his shot's not falling, it's
like Wiggins
right.
floats too, bro.
Wiggins does float a lot too. So that's the thing that at this point,
so they're saying
who would you want now? Like Rui Hachimura?
Wiggins just has a much higher ceiling. Like he's just a much better player overall. But like
Rui is Rui.
Right, Rui is a good role player. Wiggins is he's more than a role player. I think he's like an elite level role player, or like, on a certain night he can be like your third best player, when he's got it going.
I haven't watched,
but he's not very consistent. I think he had. Look,
so they're the same guy.
Michael, no, he's better. He's better than.
I'm
Rui.
talking about the inconsistency.
Yeah, he's certainly especially based on what you'd be paying for, right? Like Wiggins was a former #1 overall pick. Wiggins was a guy that people thought could be a franchise cornerstone
in 2014.
I mean, even the Warriors made it feel that way, even though I feel like that was kind of fool's gold. I feel like Andrew Wiggins benefited. Yes, he was the second leading scorer on a team that had, Steph on it, number one. Klay Thompson coming back off his injury, playing the best basketball he's ever played. Klay never had a better season than the first one he had off of injury, okay? And Draymond was still Draymond, and they had good depth on that team too.
Like Jordan Poole at that time was really good offensively.
That's when he was Jordan Poole.
Right.
Now, why would somebody give up on Wiggins?
I think they just, fit, right? I don't think he's on Miami right now. I don't think Miami sees him as a guy that they say, oh, he's a guy we can lean on, to help Tyler Hero at the scoring burden. He's not consistent enough to do that.
So you go and you get rid of Wiggins because he's not that guy, and you bring in Rui, who can help you?
Right, but it looks like they're also trying to get Jonathan Kuminga, who they feel can turn into one of those kind of guys as a restricted free agent on a rookie contract. Because here's what I'll tell you. The teams now, there's several ways, I think, to really build a roster. And obviously you're going to have your star-level players or whatever, but you have to be smart on the way you acquire players. You have to develop very well, which means the draft is incredibly important. The G League is incredibly important. And I think teams need to identify guys on rookie contracts that have underperformed or underwhelmed or haven't been utilized properly or maybe had injury issues in history, and identify those guys. And look, Kuminga would fall under the kind of underwhelming. He's one of those right there,
yeah. You're still waiting for him to become Kuminga, who you expected.
And look, I'll tell you this. I don't think the Warriors and him have been a good fit. He wants to play on the perimeter. They don't need that with Steph, right? And he wants to be featured a little more, and he feels he has more game than what the Warriors allow him to play, right? So that's what I'm saying. Teams are looking for those guys. I actually think in Detroit there's a guy named Jaden Ivey.
I like him.
Who I think can be. He was a former number 5 pick in the draft. He's been hurt. His thing has been injury. But I think maybe Detroit moves off him for the right veteran because maybe they feel oh, we're close. The East sucks. We have Cade Cunningham, who's going to be probably a future bona fide first team, second team All-NBA guy the rest of his career. Let's go get that guy help right away. So I think teams are going to be a little more shrewd on how they maneuver based on where they think they are. If you're not in championship mode, you're looking for those guys on rookie contracts. Excuse me, I in-burped there. Burped. You're looking on those guys on rookie contracts that you feel again, were underutilized, injured, or didn't perform up to whatever their standards were supposed to be. So you're trying to find value is what I'm saying. And that's the key to all this. You're going to have a star. Every team's going to have guys they pay the max to, but you have to find value, whether you're the Lakers or the Warriors or the Pacers, the Thunder, the Heat, whoever, the Sixers. Everybody's got to find value.
Every single time when the trade rumors start up, I was telling this to DeAndre yesterday, always figure out who the first names are out there, right? Because there's always the agents floating things out there. Wiggins has 2 more years. He's going to make 28 next year. I think 29 the year after that. But it's always the name that is going to – nobody ever says, oh, the trade rumor that he might go to a bad team, right? It's always a Lakers organization, right? It's always a bigger
but
name.
if you want Andrew Wiggins, you're going to be a contender. Yeah. Because if you want a $30 million guy who is better than a role player, but not a pillar, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of a tweener in that sense. Then you have to feel like you're close to make that deal.
Yeah, so 28 next year, 30 the year after that. And if you're the Lakers, are you giving up a pick toss?
I don't know. I don't know what that's going to cost. That's not my world. So I don't know what that would cost.
Right? They're going to ask for a lot, wouldn't they?
Maybe not. I don't know.
They should.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer to that
DeAndre's
question.
got his eyes on people.
No, I'm just saying it depends on how the Miami Heat value Andrew Wiggins and how much they would want for him. That's the only thing I would.
Right. I don't know. I have no idea what they want for him. So
that time of year, though. It's that time of year where everybody's name is going to get floated out. And then the organizations are always real tight-lipped, and the agents are telling everybody everything. Because you got to see what the value's out there for your client.
I do think that Andrew Wiggins prefers to be back on the West Coast. I mean, but it doesn't mean that he's going to be traded just to the Lakers. There's a lot of teams. I bet you the Warriors would want him back in the right scenario. Hell, I could see them trading him for Kuminga, and just making that swap. And there'd be more that have to go back and forth based on salaries. But yeah, like I don't think the Warriors would rule out bringing back Andrew Wiggins because they were the only ones that actually have made him be successful.
This is just on Rui not becoming the guy last year where he.
Yeah, but I don't know who thought Rui was going to be the guy.
No,
like
because he would have. You could see the ceiling. I think he's reached his ceiling.
Yeah,
where he
this
is
is what he is. Yeah,
and it was
but
good.
that's a good player.
That's a good player, but it's not a player that's going to get you over. His
Well,
inconsistencies really affect the Lakers.
I mean, it'll get you over the top if you had better players.
Yes, but he shouldn't be one of your better players on the floor at the time. He should be the good
he could be
complementary.
one of your 5 best players.
But he's not.
I don't know about that. I feel like he's one of your 5 best players.
No, on a championship team, he shouldn't be.
I don't know. Like, I think he's
The inconsistencies that he has.
I'm not as low on him as you are. Then, if that's the case, like, I think he can be.
I just don't like
Look,
that
man,
he
the
disappears.
5th best player on your team is not Mr. Consistency either. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
then again, the Lakers weren't a championship team that you're going to put like, okay, they're a favorite to win the West or anything like that. But it's also with Rui, like it just the way that he disappears.
DeAndre made a good point. Jordan Poole was the 5th best player on that Warriors team that won a championship. He was not Mr. Consistent by any stretch of the
But you
imagination.
had how many other good players?
Who
You had
was the
4
5th best player on the Pacers this year?
All right, so if you got Halliburton, Siakam, right?
McConnell, third. maybe?
Nesmith.
Neesmith. Yeah.
Miles Turner,
Nemhard,
Turner's
right?
like 6.
You got Siakam, you got Turner.
Hold on, let me take a
They
quick
got
look.
names.
Here. Mathurin, right? Like Miles Turner. We forgot Miles Turner. So let's do it. Okay, so Halliburton, Siakam, Turner, probably their top 3, right? Then you'd have like McConnell and either Nemhard or Neesmith. Yeah, like Neesmith and Nemhard are like similar to Rui production-wise. They're different positions, but production-wise, that's what you got. Like, that's what Rui is. He's like your 5th or 6th best player.
You don't Rui to like knock somebody out one time.
Yeah, but